I'm picking Alexander Volkanovski. Now, I went over their fights yesterday. We all know that Alexander Volkanovski is a legend. He's arguably the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, arguably. And he's reached that legendary status where he fought Max Holloway, arguably the greatest featherweight of all time. Max Holloway, in my opinion, he's the greatest featherweight of all time. He had 2 controversial wins and won the third fight. It was a very decisive win for Volkanovski. Volkanovski went on later to fight Islam Makhachev and did incredibly well. A fight that was very much contested. The result of that fight was Islam Makhachev winning. However, it was heavily contested. And even the hardest Islam Makhachev fight fans also understood that Volkanovski made a point that night. He made a point that he's arguably the second best 155er in the world. Nobody gave Islam Makhachev such a challenge. Nobody. Not only is he the featherweight world champion, he's also, in my opinion, the second best lightweight, pardon me, in the UFC today. Could he take out on Oliveira? Could he take out Michael Chandler? I think it's very possible. In a 5-rounder, guys, I wouldn't put anybody past Volkanovski, which leads me to why I'm picking him against Yair Rodriguez. I find Yair Rodriguez, the current interim world champion, who just defeated Josh Emmett in incredible style. In that fight, if you watch that fight, he landed several body kicks. They were absolutely killer. He landed on Josh Emmett several body kicks and a body knee that was absolutely killer. That led to a triangle, an eventual triangle. Yes, the triangle was great. But it wasn't really the triangle that did it. I find, if you watch that fight, it was really Yair's striking. His kicking, his punching, his combinations were causing so much damage to Josh Emmett that it softened him up to be caught in a triangle later on. Now, Yair is great on his back, and he's a very good wrestler, yes. But his ticket to winning is usually his powerful, and unpredictable striking ability. Okay, now that's my take on it. That's how I see it. Now, how's his striking going to look against Volk? I think his striking is going to look incredible in round 1 and round 2. He understands range. He understands distance. He's absolutely incredibly creative. We still all remember his knockout against Korean Zombie. Literally 1 second left. Literally 1 second left. And he lands an unorthodox elbow, a bent over spinning unorthodox elbow, a vertical spinning unorthodox elbow that nobody saw. Even the commentators didn't see it. None of us saw it. We're like, why did Korean Zombie just fall? And then on the replay, it was clear. Yair Rodriguez had tricked everybody. He threw a shot almost nobody saw, which resulted in the collapse of Korean Zombie, a guy with an incredible chin. We call him the Zombie because he walks forward and he eats shot, and it seems like not to faze him. Well, the Zombie that day got caught with a shot that collapsed him like a house of cards. It was actually a very scary KO. It was very scary because the way Zombie collapsed was so... It was a devastating strike. It shook him to his core. With 1 second left. Now, as brilliant of a striker as he is, as brilliant as he is in his wrestling and his grappling, I think his biggest weakness, you saw it when he fought Max Holloway. Now, the Max Holloway fight, I don't want to make it sound like it was one-sided. Yair had a lot of good work in there. I rewatched it last night. I watched all 5 rounds. Yair fought like a champion. However, you can see that not only was Max Holloway more robust, but his cadence, his pressure, his exchanges per minute were too much for Yair Rodriguez. That's the honest truth. Yair needs a massive leap in that domain if he wants to beat a Volkanovski. Volkanovski's pressure was too much. For even the 155 champ, it seemed like the 155 champ was slowing down. By round 5, he was on his back, getting punched by Volkanovski. Volkanovski was finishing strong, and it seemed like the 155 world champion, Islam Makhachev, was hanging on, fighting hard to just not to let this round get out of control. That's how much pressure Volkanovski brings to a 5-round fight. So in my opinion, guys, If Yair doesn't put Volkanovski away in the first 2 rounds, which I find to be not impossible, but just very, very difficult to do, he's going to lose. Why? Volkanovski is going to wear him down with takedowns. He's going to wear him down with cadence. He's going to wear him down with striking and wrestling, exchanging the two, from exchanging the two on the ground, on the feet, back and forth, scrambling. And Yair is going to be the first one to back down. Yair is going to be the first one to slow down. And that's going to become a slippery slope that's going to lead Volk to a win. That's how I see the fight. Yair Rodriguez he's not a dumb guy. He's a super smart guy in the ring, okay? He's super, super smart. He's going to try to keep him at a distance. He's going to try to keep Volk at a distance, and he's going to try to clip Volk with kicks. He's not crazy, guys. We all know it. I don't have to ask him what his game plan is. For sure, he's going to use his lightning fast kicks. You're 100% right. It's going to be a difficult thing for Volk to deal with. However, unlike Josh Emmett, I doubt Volk will get kicked to the body repeatedly. Emmett had a large hole in his defense, and Yair exposed it. Even though Emmett came back strong and did some damage and he stunned Yair, got him on his back both times in both rounds. He did some work in there. I don't want to say he didn't do some work. I just doubt that Yair is going to be able to score body kicks like he did against Emmett. However, it doesn't, guys, I can't say he doesn't knock out Volk. It can happen. Fighting is fighting. A flying knee, a spinning kick. Yair has finishing power. Nobody doubts that. I just don't think it's going to happen. It's unlikely. But it can happen. Just because something is unlikely doesn't mean it never happens. Is that the game plan? Keep him at a distance, pick and poke, stick and move? Of course that's the game plan. Of course. He would be crazy not to go in with that game plan. Why? His glaring advantage is his reach. Can he do it? And we're going to find out on next Saturday. Eid Mubarak, Coach Dros. Eid Mubarak to you all. I forgot to mention that. Sorry, guys. My apology. Eid Mubarak to you all. And happy holidays to everybody. Guys, I'm only taking questions on Yair and Alexander for now, and then we can go to any question, okay? But let's stay on topic, please, gentlemen, as always, and then we can open it up. Volk is the GOAT 145er. That's certain now, isn't it, Coach? That's from Hamza Ali. I still hold it to be Max Holloway. I just thought Max, he won the first 2 fights with Volk. I hate to say that. I don't want to get into controversy. I'm not trying to start controversy. I just think he won the first 2. But it was so close that I won't argue against the decision. It was that close. It could have went either way. But I still think Max is the greatest 145 of all time. Okay? And I say that only because I really think that's the truth. And it could be even Aldo, guys. I go back to Aldo's fights. We forget how many fights, how many incredible performances Aldo. I would have to go back. How dare I not forget? How dare I forget Jose Aldo? I have to go back and rewatch all their fights, guys. Just because Max beat Jose Aldo doesn't make it that Max is better than Jose. And just because Volk beat Max doesn't make it. It's who did what in the... Look, it's who did what in their prime. Prime Jose Aldo versus prime Max Holloway. Prime Volk versus prime Max Holloway. That's the real question we're asking. That's what I'm asking. Okay, I don't know if you guys are asking something else. This is what I'm asking. I'm saying at the tippy top of the career, who was the best? I'd have to go through the videos, but right now, off the top of my head, I would say Max Holloway. Hey, hello, Coach. Do you think Volk will attempt more offensive wrestling in this fight or tire and neutralize Yair? That's from Chance Moreno. Chance, I totally agree. He should wrestle. Why? When a guy kicks you, man, grab his leg, take him down. When a guy kicks to the body, grab that kick, wrestle him to the ground. Volk is very different than Emmett. Emmett is good on top. Volk is very dangerous. Volk will be very strong on top, okay? He's working with B-Team. He's working with Craig Jones. They're going to pin Yair. They're going to pass to half guard. They're going to smash pass. They're going to do all sorts of things. His grappling is quickly becoming stronger and stronger. He's going to be successful on the ground, in my opinion. And his takedowns are really, really good. He just needs more ground. And he's going to have, in my opinion, a newly developed ground game. Okay, guys. Yair got ragdolled by Edgar. Volk will expose his wrestling by Edgar. Okay, so he's... Based Reptile is saying... Based Reptile Chad. What a name. Based Reptile Chad with an avatar picture of GSP holding the UFC belt. This guy means... That's a heavy-duty avatar, let me tell you. He's saying, look, he got ragdolled by Frankie Edgar. Okay, well, Frankie Edgar was more more to his prime. Yair was still a rookie then. Look, today it would be Yair all day long against Frankie, even though Frankie, in my opinion, was still much greater. Frankie's a legend of the sport, of course. Just Father Time catches up to all of us, and he has a lot of miles on him, and he fought Yair, and he took Yair down and ragdolled him. This is a very different Yair. Okay, now Volk is in his prime. He has a lot of. I understand your question because you're right. Volk has a lot of what Frankie brings to the table. He has a lot of what Frankie brings to the table. High cadence, high resiliency, high pressure, great wrestling, and great top game. I see your point. It makes a very, very valid point, but this is a very different Yair Rodriguez. Now, to say that Yair has no wrestling, I disagree. Okay, he works with Izzy. Izzy's a really great wrestling coach. That was a long time ago. They've improved leaps and bounds in terms of wrestling. Have we seen it really in his last few fights? No, but I'm sure it's there. I'm that confident. Okay, I'm that confident. They're not dumb. Okay, they know they got to keep this on their feet. They're wrestling overtime. Even when they were fighting Josh Emmett, they were wrestling overtime. They were making sure that Josh Emmett doesn't get any takedowns. Okay, he did try to take down Yair. Yair escaped. He eventually scored a takedown. Yair kind of collapsed from he got hit with a big punch, and then they kind of collided, and he kind of sat down. I'd have to rewatch it again. I don't think it was a foot sweep. It kind of he just kind of collapsed to guard. I'd have to rewatch it though. I'm a little fuzzy on it. And there was a second takedown in round 2, and Yair gets to the triangle, scores a beautiful triangle, defended himself well off his back. Guys, you're right though. It has been. We've seen Yair on his back more than we need to. You're right. That's a good point. I can't say you're not making a good point. That is a very, very good point, and that's why I'm picking Volk. Volk is a minus 410 favorite. Safe to say this would be one of the biggest upset in sports history if Yair wins. That's some Shafiq. I'm shocked at those odds. I didn't think Volk was that much of a favorite. I would have put him at a minus 250, minus 450. That's a massive, massive favorite. He's a massive favorite. Very interesting.